Dear brothers and sisters, I welcome you all to hear and see this video message. Today we are going to see genocide warning to India. Content for this video I given in the description. You can go through and study. Between December 17 and 19 on 2021, at an ostensible religious assembly in Haridwar, Uttarakhand, a band of saffron-clad sadhus and sadhvis made a direct and blatant call for genocide and violence against India's Muslim community. This assembly was also peppered with and attended by some people having direct affiliation with the ruling Bhartiya Janta Party. Worse, even after the passage of 3 weeks, the ringmasters of the Haridwar hate episode have not been arrested. Several of the sadhus who were adorning the stage and taking turns on the mic are pathological and habitual rabble-rousers with an infamous track record vibing hatred. This despite the fact that there are clear video clips of attendees fomenting vitriolic hatred and inciting the Hindus to take up arms against Muslims. However, in the face of outrage and criticism, some of the perpetrators have been arrested, but the overall lukewarm response on the issues has reflected poorly on BJP-ruled Uttarakhand and consequently has raised serious questions about the authorities' bias in favour of the hatemongers. Genocide is a process and not a one-time event. It can be stated that the genocide against Muslims in India has begun. Genocide calls made during the Dharm Sansat in Haridwar were the effect of the normalization of regular vitriolic stereotyping of Muslims by several media houses and politicians. At this public event, appeals have been made to armed forces and ordinary Hindus to take up arms against the Muslims to save the nation and Hindu community in particular. The event was not some ordinary setup or fringe act but was organized by the people who share close ties with the ruling BJP state government. The police behaved in a very lackadaisical manner and registered first information report under ordinary IPC section, that is not under more stringent legislation like the Unlawful Activities Prevention Act, and that too only after outrage by the Muslim community and civil society. Even before this event, several other big and small events were organized with a similar intent of targeting Muslims. If you ask for water, Indians will give you juice. If you ask for milk, we will give you the buttermilk. But if you want the hijab all over India, we will shop you, that is Muslims, all with Shivaji's sword. And saffron is India. We are happy with all the arrests that have been made, but it is not enough. If you, that is the government, cannot do it, give us 24 hours. Let the government give us just 1 hour and not just these 6 girls in hijab. We will cut 60,000 in hijab into pieces. That is Bhuja said. The teenage Bajrang Dal worker in Karnataka calls for genocide, referring to the 6 female Muslim students who have been protesting at the government PU college in Udupi for the right to wear hijab in the classroom. By this Hindutva radicalization, preventing genocide in India would be difficult, as the state was both the perpetrator and an active protector of other perpetrators. Jason Stanley, a professor of philosophy at Yale University and the author of How Fascism Works, compared what is happening in India now to Nazi Germany. The early thinkers of the RSS made explicit suggestion that India should follow the Nazi model, he said. The CAA looks frighteningly like the Nuremberg laws. Acts of violence by Hindu extremists in India have become so severe, witnessing a situation equivalent to that of the Nazi regime as they sought to dehumanize the Jews and exterminate them. Genocides are not events that happen overnight. They are long-term social and political processes that begin long before mass killing. For instance, the Nazis did not build death camp immediately when Adolf Hitler was appointed Chancellor of Germany in 1933. The Holocaust began with smaller steps like preventing Jewish people from holding certain jobs, then preventing Jews and non-Jews from marrying each other. It was not until the late 1930s that the Nazis transitioned to their final solution, which called for the destruction of all Jewish people. And the Nazis did not construct the first death camp until 1941. One who sounds the alarm is Gregory Standen, that he founder and director of Genocide Watch. He is not a voice that can be taken lightly. He had predicted the massacre of 8 lakh Tutsi in Rwanda 5 years before it took place in 1994, and accurately foresaw many other genocidal projects since. He warns that a genocide of Muslims in India could take place. He identified many early signs and processes of genocide in India, including stigmatizing of Muslims, their dehumanization, including taming them termites, and many targeted acts of hate violence. The other report by the United States Holocaust Memorial Museum, it expects India to sink into communal bloodletting by private groups supported by the state. Many early signs of genocide are visible everywhere. We only need the eye to see and heart to care. NDTV tracks VIP hate speech or the hate speech by senior leaders of government or political parties and finds a shocking rise of 1130% during the Narendra Modi government since 2014 compared to the preceding regime. Just 0.3 instances of VIP hate speech a month during UPA 2 rocketed to 3.7 per month in the Modi years. Unsurprisingly, the BJP contributed over 80% of this. Led sometimes by the Prime Minister, but much more surely by his Home Minister and several Union and Chief Ministers, this hate speech pandemic stigmatizes, taunts and insults and sometimes openly incites violence against India's Muslims. They depict Muslims as bigoted and violent oppressors of Hindus in history, as breakers of Hindu temples, and in contemporary times variously as unpatriotic, loyal to Pakistan, terrorists, sexual predators, love jihadis, cow killers, child breeders and infiltrators. Christians are portrayed as deviously deploying overseas donation to have bribed impoverished people into converting to Christianity under the cloak of humanitarian services. Bible talks about genocide in India by Sangh Parivar in Esther chapter 3 verse 8 and 9. Then Haman, that is RSS, approached the king Xerxes and said, "There is a certain race of people, that is Muslims and Christians, scattered through all the provinces of your empire, who keep themselves separate from everyone else. Their laws are different from those of any other people, and they refuse, that is lie, to obey the laws of the king. So it is not in the king's interest to let them live. Why not give orders for all of them to be killed? Let an order be drawn up authorizing their destruction, and I will pay 375 tons of silver to the accounts for deposit in the royal treasury.